Scott, defeat here at the Silver Lake Stadium at the hands of Halifax. A match that was defined by key moments throughout. How was you feeling after that one?
Yeah, look, I've been really disappointed in our sort of individual performance and our collective performance in the last little run of games that we're on. We're in a bad moment. There's no doubt about that. But I thought, if you take that as an isolated game today, apart from the goals, which you can't excuse. You know, you can't give a good team like Halifax 3 goals like we did today, and expect to get much from a game. I actually can't criticise the players too much in terms of what they gave us. I think they gave us a lot, which I think is a positive on one hand, but also a worry that we've lost again. And at home, I thought there was a good intent to win the game from us, even at the end there. And okay, like you're right. There's moments, but there's moments that have gone our way as well. Not in this game, but in the run we had in December. And sometimes, look, you just got to roll with it and keep rolling your sleeves up and working as hard as you can. But look, clearly that wasn't a bad performance today. I've just said to the players that they need to just focus on themselves as individuals and get themselves ready for next week, because we have to stop the rot. But it's up to myself and the staff. It's my responsibility, of course, to make sure that we get ourselves back on an even keel and a decent run. The players can't necessarily affect that as individuals, but they can do everything properly to make sure they're in a good place come Monday.
4 goals in 3 games that we've scored, quite a sensible, normal number. But then on the flip side, the more abnormal side of it is conceding 11 in 3 games. You mentioned focus and responsibility from yourself and the coaching staff's point of view. Is that what the focus is? Is that the glaring focus point for yourselves to try and improve?
Yeah, and it's all we've worked on this week. I mean, but you can't legislate necessarily for individual errors. First 2 goals, beat 1v1 too easy in a wide position. Probably after a foul on Aaron at the other end. I think the second goal softened the challenge, to be honest. They've come away with the ball and it's ricocheted in around our box, and good players take those chances. The third one was more of a collective. We were in a good position to defend that. They've got it wide. We had good numbers. We had good numbers in the box. They passed the ball backwards 5-10 yards and we didn't move with the ball, so didn't allow Nick any time by the time the header had gone in, really. So look, we're really, really disappointed. We're in a tough moment. There's no shying away from that. It's not often that I've been in this position. I think like I said, it's a bit of a difficult one to take today, because I can't go in there and criticise the lads too much for not giving everything for the club, because they've ran really hard today. We've created, I don't know how many balls Archie Harris has got in today. It must be double figures. And look, we shouldn't need more than 2 goals to win a game at home or to get something from a game at home. But there was more goals for us there today. But like I said, you can't concede 3 goals at home and come out here and say we should have won the game.
Yeah, you're right. We did have the opportunity to score more goals. One of them, potentially a turning point in the game, was Aaron Blair's penalty miss. I've got to ask you about that. In isolation, obviously it's a penalty miss, but then for them to go and score at the other end, do you look at that as maybe unfortunate, or more could be done to have prevented that? Yeah,
like I just said to Aaron there, like, he's going to miss chances, he's going to miss players, he miss penalties at times. He's a player that runs selfishly for us and makes a lot of chances for himself. So I'm not going to criticise him for the penalty. What I did think was that he maybe let that affect him for 5 or 10 minutes. So a brilliant learning curve for him. We were really critical that we conceded so soon after. I know that can happen in football, but obviously they've gone up one end of the pitch. We've won a really good header, and the ref's given a foul against Sam Pearson in the middle of the pitch, which we've just seen back. I had no idea what for. But again, from that position, there's no way they should score still. So, the responsibility's on our shoulders, my shoulders. We get praised, and rightly so, when we do well, and we're going to take a little bit of criticism again today, which we've got to be big enough and ugly enough to handle, because like I say, you can't lose 4 on the bounce. You can't lose at home, having played well.
Yeah, again, 2 goals scored. Sam Pearson getting his first goal for the club as well. How much of a weight will that be off his shoulders?
Yeah, Sam's a good player. I thought that was the best he's been for us today. He's, because of circumstances and lack of options, he's had to fill a hole for us in a few positions that aren't his natural position, if you like. But I know he'll do that for me, and he can do a steady job for the team in a lot of positions. But he is an attacking player with good intent. He's a good finisher. I thought he was good today. In fact, like I said, I think the majority of the team were good. But maybe we've got to be better than good to get a result against a good Halifax team.
Yeah, a whole week now to try and micro-analyse what's happened and put things right come next weekend. It's been a manic schedule. How do you intend on using the time between now and the next game?
Yeah, we've just got to work hard. Focus on the next game. That can be the only thing we can do. It's like I said, it's for us as staff to stew over that. We're obviously bitterly disappointed because we feel like we're letting everyone down at the moment. That's not a nice feeling, of course, but I'm confident we'll put it right and start seeing the rewards of our hard work, because no one's working harder than us, and sometimes we need a little bit of luck. Sometimes we need a player through the door who might help. Sometimes we need someone back from injury. But it's only us that can get ourselves out of what's turning into a horrible little run. The players have got my full backing, to be honest. I think they're a good group. They need a little bit of help. We can give them that this week, I think. Focus on the next game, and hopefully it'll turn for us.
Cheers, Scott.
Cheers.